you are late. And we have no habit to do the acts on times. Generally, one very good quotation when I have studied a book, Wings of the Fire from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The book is about all this
I assume,
issue. And
I assume this is also a research question. Okay, so you can start. I'm starting the recording.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Neeraj sir. I welcome all the participants in the second to represent you the few papers. So this will be helpful for the researchers how they can write the papers by using EFA and the CFA, and how you can incorporate the tables and some other things. So generally, I will give you the brief idea, whatever I have done in some of my papers. Like one paper is that determinants of e-banking adoption from customers' perspective. So this is I have written 1.5 year back papers. So just I have no idea about what will be the determinants of the e-banking adoptions, and we go to the literature, we study the literature, and from the literature we make some hypothesized guess, or that can be the factors, and we find this is security is the one factor, and we study that whether this factors actually exist or not, and some literature is available about the security. Then about the services, we formulate. We see service can be the one factor. So then convenience, then perceived skill, then loyalty, and from the literature, I have just a pure idea. This can be the factors, but in India, I would like to explore these factors. So at the first step, what I have conducted, we hypothesize these factors. Just try to formulate a structure, try to form the factors from my data. So on the basis of these, factors which I have perceived or hypothesized, I make a questionnaire, and on the questionnaires, then I have collected the data, and then I apply the factor analysis as we have also coded KMO value and all things. This is the table of explained variance. So my review of literature gave me the spurts to give the name to the factors. These are the coding, loadings, and eigenvalue. And I also write those values which are not loaded, which have the low loadings also. So with I have also explained the Cronenberg alpha, which is basically the reliability of the factors, and uh, from the data, from the first analysis, I have come with the these factors. So generally, one thing is very understandable if you say on the point of view of the factor analysis. Generally, what we do, we apply the EF and CF on the same data, but this make no sense. So it's my personal suggestion or my observation is that the researcher should have to collect the two different samples and apply the EFA and the CFA, and pre-testing I have conducted. After the factor analysis, I am come with these factors, and later I will. Yes, sir.
Have you opened the paper, or you are still on the folder? I am able to see only the folder, not the paper or something.
Okay. Just stop. Sir, is it okay?
I can see your folder and 4 files within it.
Okay, just a minute. Is it visible, sir? No.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So this was the paper about the determinants of e-banking adoption from the customer perspectives. Some we make some guess, or these can be the factors like service, security, convenience, uh, perceived skill, loyalty, Then we have make a questionnaires on the basis of these factors, and then we run the factor analysis and we confirm these factors. So we are with the factors like 7 8 factors here. So we on the basis of eigenvalue we selected these factors, and I also cover which are not loaded. Sometimes a reviewer asks you to why you are not loaded. So why you are not represent all the items which you have removed. So I have also explained. Then pre-testing. Then I am shifting to the confirmatory analysis. I have taken another sample. So another samples with the different technique like maximum likelihood on the MS, I have a CFA and the CFA. These are the estimators which I have examined in my presentation. Uh, this is basically factors. They are a critical ratio value, T value. It should be more than 1.96. So all loading should be significant, and their R scale value and their loading weight is there. Uh, Further, I have checked the liability and validity of the construct. So we have in the liability and validity of the construct we have two issues. First is the convergent and discriminant validity of the uh, uh, construct. In the liability, I have used composite liability. In the in the convergent discriminant validity, I have used the this Forner-Lecker criteria, and this is the some value which also give explain reliability, KV, MSV, SB, and this value showed there is a okay, there is an issue of the conversion validity exist or not. Then I use the formal criteria. So recently, I would suggest to use the HMT because it is most preferable. It's more desirable. I'm not saying it is overtake the formal criteria, but it's most useful. Then these are some fit indices I have used. This is the book from I have taken this, and these are some values. And this is my model. And in this model, I think I dropped the one, factor because of because of the convergent validity issues. So this is my model, and finally I have discussed, and now I has explained construct factors to the uh, regressions for the further predictive analysis, and this is all about the discussion how we one by one a factor discuss how it can be suitable in Indian conditions, how it can be in the previous literatures, how related to them, and finally conclusion and some recommendations also there how this my study is useful for in the Indian scenario, and finally limitation and future scope of research. So this is all about my one paper in which I understand in which we study the internet factor which are affect the internet adoption from customers' perspectives. So now I will share you the one more paper about uh, stop here. This is one more paper on. Sir, is it my is it visible, sir? Thank you. So in this paper, we estimate we just explore the role of government in sustainable growth. So my co-author is Dr. Rajni with me, and she is the first author in this paper, and uh, we we have the no idea what can be the role of the government. We just go to the review of literature. So much of review of literature we have conducted, we have done, we have reviewed. From the review of literature, we estimate okay, this can be the factors, and we also uh, uh, provide the studies which are related to these factors. So then in the one in the one study we have also published the factor analysis of this particular uh, constructs. So In the next stage, we have conduct the confirmatory factor analysis on a DENCO, advanced analysis of composites. This is one software. So similarly, check the constructibility and the validity. And so I will also show you the tables. Uh, these are the table produced by the this is demographic tables. This is the table produced by the construct liability validity tables, AV econ 1 by alpha composite liability, and this is STMT. The software provides us the table. That value should be less than 0.85 or 0.9. This is my cross-loading table. Cross-loading is also a way to describe the discriminant. And finally, when your purpose is basically examine the underlying construct of the factors, you can choose this value, which is provided by the software. So this is the paper by in the both the difference between both of the papers is that in the one paper I have used covariance based SEM, in the other paper I have used the variance based SEM. All the papers are in the press. These two papers are in the press, and now I will share the last paper. Recently, this is my this is a paper is about uh, how do we measure the reflective measurement models. So in which what are the criteria, what we can use, and how we can use the composite if we consider our reflective or the paper. We study the mediating role of self-efficacy on the relationship between conscientiousness and procrastination. So here would I like to focus that okay, this paper is not about CFA or CCA. This is just explain the relationship. But the reason to show this paper is that I think it can be a good example how to code the result when further in your search you write the tables, you use the statistical analysis. So this is the basically introduction part. In introduction part, I explain what is the importance of the variables, like what is the importance of self-efficacy, conscientiousness, procrastination, how it is contribute to the HRM performance and human resource management. So last we explain the variable, how what is conscientiousness, self-efficacy, and procrastinations. Okay, then context of the study, where the study is conducted, and on the basis of the review of literature, we formulate the hypothesis, like there is a relationship between conscientiousness and the procrastination. Sometimes the researchers find the correlation and make the hypothesis. There is the effect of X on Y, but it is sometimes point out by the editor. You have to show the bivariate relationship. You have to show there is a both have the relationship and don't claim the cause. So sometimes you have to make such type of the hypothesis, and this is my proposed hypothesis model. Thank you, sir. We have learned all so many things from you to how to make a model, and sample I have taken. So this is the demographic profile of the sapling population, and the data characteristic. This is the most wonderful thing. This is the missing part of the most of the research study, you can say. Just we start the analysis, we just write on about the analysis and this thing, this one, but this will give you the logic why you apply the data. Like you have tested the multivariate normality, you have what is the skewness, how you handle the missing value. So you can discuss a number of things in like kurtosis, skewness, which is occurred in your data. Finally, you results. So in the results, we have discussed first of all indicators, correlation metrics. Then obviously, then indicator loadings, as I have discussed, and they are non-significant. Which loadings are non-significant also explained. And measurement model is basically when you study the outer part of any model. So in which the same things like we have to test the composite liability and average variance extracted. And with HTMT is basically a sign of convergent validity we use for the convergent validity. So with my three construct, I check the convergent validity, and next I for null criteria I applied correlation Mangalatran variable with the square root of AVs. So this way I use Fornal-Ecker criteria. So next is the structure model assessment. In the structure model assessment, I have tested all the paths. This is very important. What you write, whether hypothesis is rejected or accepted. Usually, in my experience, the researcher should write the word supported or use not, because there is a lot of confusion whether to write the hypothesis accepted or the rejected. So endogenous variables are, and their VIF. Basically, VIF will check whether there is a polarity issue, and we upscale. Upscale is some advanced technique to test where is the effect to explain the effect size. And this is my tested model. And finally, this is the PLS predict. Like in the measurement of selective, I've explained there is a predictive reliability. So with the PLS predict, I have tested the predictive relevancy. So two things are also important, right? On the multicollinearity, if there is a biasness, so you have your own method or own your study material to code the CMB, common method biasness. Then discussion part, where results are matching with my previous research or not. So finally conclusions and practical implications. And I have discussed the future scope of the research. One thing I would like to highlight there, the researcher should also first of all understand the guidelines of the journals. If you are, little bit you are deviated from the guidelines of the journal, so the editor or reviewer don't like it mostly. They generally they put these things in the you can say in the negative side. So this is all about how to measure a reflective model. So there are also literature available on the internet, or you can study how to evaluate the causal formative model, and uh, see it from there. And further, if we study, we have also shared further study with you, all of you. So, sir, thank you very much. This is all from my side. Now, sir, over to you. And thank you very much, all the participants and the organizers once again. And so, Cartlook, thanks to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandeep, for such a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Sandeep, please put it on mute. So, it's a wonderful, wonderful presentation. Dot everything he has connected very, very beautifully, and within the time span given. So now for the next 5 sessions, the onus lies on me to connect all these dots. So I cover whatever Sandeep has talked is the outer limits for me. I will start from EFA, CFA, and then CCA. 2 are the parts of the nitty-gritty of these things, and second, how to do it in RStudio. How part is very simple, that should not take more than 30-40 minutes, though if you know about the RStudio, it's even less than that. Talking about what is EFA, CFA, it's something like, we can talk about 1 year completely and still people will have the doubts. Most of the doubts are not because they don't understand. Most of the doubt comes because in that paper it's written like that, or my guide is asking me to do this particular way, or he or she is asking to do in that way. That's one of the pressure on the scholars. So before I start my deliberations, now I afraid I don't have such a structured presentation like Sandeep. Now, after 2 decades of teaching the statistics, I feel more comfortable talking about the statistics while taking an evening walk in the garden. I can teach the things better there. It's very difficult in a formal. So my interest is actually what is happening at the back end in very, very layman term. So I don't have any PPT or something. So it's more like the grandfather's stories. So bedtime stories, I will share something from the history, something why question is wonderful. This question mark, why? When we have EFA, why the Emily method? Why the PLS method? Why the CCA method? Why this method? So must be something is going on there. So we'll talk about that. Before that, let me just tell you about the Suman has already told you that on the campus technology, the link you've been provided, your registered email ID is your username and password is a password. Only when you get into that portal, there are the 4 links. On the left-hand side, you will find file. All the files we have uploaded, and we have, I will just tell you what is there in which file. The second will be about the videos that will be activated after the completion of this workshop. They will upload all the video there as well as on the YouTube also. The third one is the certificate. Obviously, certificate will be available. That link will be activated only after the completion of this workshop. Maybe it will take some more time, then it will be activated. And the fourth link is change the password. So you should always change the password at the first priority. Let me share my screen and let me tell you what are the contents which I have shared with you. So this is the folder. I have just taken it from all of my videos, or Sandeep's inputs are in it. The capital R you see, these are the R script files. So there is a CCA, CFA, EFA, and 3 of the PLS. 6 are there. 7th is just it's a backup. Then there is a different name to the different terms. You know, people call it as somewhere, people call it as construct or factor or determinant, latent variable. So it's there is one file which I will use for all the explanations. That's a demo. So I will use it for EFA, CFA, and the PLS. There I will use the demo file. Demo file contains the 4 variable. I think I have used this particular file in all of my videos. So there is a quality leads to loyalty, loyalty leads to satisfaction and behavioral intention. So these are the 4 constructs. Then there are 8 or 9 are the demographic variable, age, income, gender, etc. 3 are the marks of Hindi, English, and some other science language, science subject. Manual calculation of AVE. Now this is a file because Sandeep told that we compute convergent validity, we compute other sort of validity, AVE, CR. So that's everything is computed by beta. So all the softwares will give you the beta values. We put into the beta value and we get those values. And we work in PL in the R Studio. So you remember when you work on the MOS, if you are familiar with MOS, or with Smart PLS, you make diagrams. There are the circles and there are the boxes, etc. So, but here we write in a particular way. We write in a particular way. There's a matrix form of way writing. So this is the file which will be used for PLS. Only for the PLS. The name of the package is PLS-PM. Okay, so any complex model, it's explained beautifully. It's so simple. Then there is a folder called CCA papers. In the CCA papers, there are this 2014 common belief about. This was, I think, the first ever attempt where the number of people they actually wrote this paper, 2014 paper. Then 2016 paper, 2017, 18, 20. Then CSAM manual is also there. A very recent paper of 2020 and supplementary material. So these are all related to. Now, a good thing is most of these papers are in open access. So either you can approach them on ResearchGate or you can find them on their sites of the people. So these are open access. You can give it to anybody else. Now, these are the 5-6 PDF files are there. These I will discuss. One file almost has nothing much to do with you. It's NIRF parameters. So I found NIRF is one of the very good example of CCA, where it's 100% explained, sort of a weightage is given. So I found one very relevant example is NIRF, but others are the things. Now, let me start from, where should I start from? Let me start from here. So Sandeep, please tell whether my screen is visible. Okay. Anybody from the campus technology team?
Yes. Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Okay. So see, where should I start my story? So I start my story again with the old debate of science versus social science. Now there are the two things. So there is a science and there is a social science. Science, I always tell that the science stabilizes somewhere in the 200 years or more. So people were, working on different units for weight. You remember a distance in India was measured when Hanumanji went to Sri Lanka. He didn't traveled in kilometer or miles. He traveled in kos. So there was the kos or something, gaj, or there are some so many different terms are there which for the depict distance. In US, they call it as the miles. In UK, they call it as the kilometer. Somewhere else, they call it with a different furlong, etc. So first, as a whole, all the things need to be stabilized. So 1 mile is approximately 1.6 kilometer. 1 cos is equal to 3 kilometer. Something like you need to, conversion should be comfortable. So units are the first thing. And when the units are stabilized for every single, like physics, like chemistry, biology, everywhere, the units were stabilized, the concepts were stabilized, and all the fields were progressing. Coming to the social science. Now, social science mostly are here. It's opinion, it's a feelings, attitudes. So these are, till date, there is no instrument I can measure. I can just see at your face and I can make a deductions, which most of the people do, but there is no scientific way. Okay, so first look for, whenever we are dealing with the social science, I have written rules for PLSM, but rather these are rules for CFA. Please remember, there are the two sort of the variables we encounter with, observed and the latent. For the science. So like your age, dash year, tell me your age in the exact years, tell me your weight in exact kilogram, and so on. That is the observed. That's a very much fantastic, and we generally denote it with the box. Denoting with the box means now this is very much stabilized, you know what it is. It got certain more parameters. For the person A, in the box you have written 40 years. For the person B, it's a 20 years. So we know the 40 years person is twice the age of 20 years. That's also stabilized. So that all the principles of science will work here. Latent variable is something which you cannot measure. now in itself, it's a very contradictory. When you can't measure, then how will you measure it? So what we will do, we will ask something else and then we will infer. Now this is from the starting, you can see the things are going, south. There's something mistake will happen. So if I want to ask you your motivation, I'm not asking you how motivated you are. Rather, I will look at your attendance and I will say, well, if you have attended, that means you are motivated. Now there are every chances I will be wrong. Some people are here only for the certificate. Okay, that may be the one reason. But I'm considering that this reason, or somebody, like I asked question, if you didn't answer, you said, well, it seems you are not interested in my subject. So this may be wrong. Yes, but how will do it? I remember one of my student long back asked me a question that may seem a very stupid question, but look at the question. She asks that, sir, my name is Neeraj. Where is it? No, it's not in the hand or my leg or my kidney. It's not there. Somewhat it's here. So her question was, if I open this skull, okay, will there be something like written, my name is Neeraj? I don't know. How do you see this question? But I find it really wonderful question. And then I thought of that, where is this information? My name is Neeraj. Obviously, it's in the brain, not mind. It's in the brain. Okay. Then in the brain, where in the brain? Then study the parts of the brain, etc. So I finally approached, what is a thought? I asked some people of medical science, what is a thought? And all they told, thought is a potential difference. Well, for what sort of definition is this? Thought is a potential difference. So what it means? It means that there are the millions and the billions of the neurons are there, and the signals are going for absolutely no reason, where the signals are going here and there. And those signals, they contain, my name is Neeraj. Now, this is horrible. How do I measure? How do I enter your brain and measure your loyalty? So, no, I will ask something and I will infer. This is the first thing we need to do. So, can you see the problem starts from the starting? So, science, everything is stabilized. In social science, everything is, invisible. That invisible person. So there are every chances we will go wrong. That's why so many people have done so many things. But we will remember only those people who worked on the common sense base. I hope you are with me. And it's going to be a very, very fascinating journey of entering into somebody's brain and take the things out. So how will do that? So first thing, please look for the nomenclature. Anything that's in circle, it's sort of, invisible. So this is called as the latent variable. Now, what is a latent? Latent is which we cannot measure directly in stats. This is called as the latent. Observed variable, which you observe directly. So your attendance is very much tangible. Either you are there or you are not there. There is nothing about thinking about it, right? But your interest is something that's intangible. Now I am associating your attendance with the interest, that if you are attending more classes, you are interested. If you are not attending, you may not be interested. Way we will do. This is the way we are doing even before starting our PhD or MBA or even the schooling, etc. So look at this. I ask it to all the participants in the workshop. When you are a small kid, do you know that what was the right time to ask your parents for something? Like you want 100 rupees from Papa. So did you know this is the right time or this is not the right time? Now, fortunately, most of you knew, and you didn't take any tuition for that. Maybe some experiment you asked, and there was a, the Papa just came home, you asked for something, and you get a slap, and you remember, okay, experiment result, not a good time to ask. Maybe sometime later, maybe next morning, maybe this way, etc. So it means we are right from the beginning of our life, we are doing that. When we do this sort of thing, this happens. That's what we call the body language. We look the people and say, no, this is not the right time, we will ask later. See, this is something we are observing something and we are inferring something. So with the latent variable, I use the word infer. With the observed variable, I keep the word measure. I hope that's fine with you. I see something, I observe, and I make a conclusion out of it. And this is, sort of, we don't do it consciously. It's a process that always go. So we call it as statement. In the management discipline or commerce discipline, people call it as the statement. And what we will infer from those things will be the factor. So if I want to ask how much your relation with your superior, I will not ask directly that how is your relation, because people may not feel very comfortable. So I ask indirect questions here and there, and from that I will infer. That infer relation about this is the factor, and the things which I ask is called as. And third, in the people of psychology, they feel more happy calling it as item and construct. So it is the one and the same thing. It's something like if we start from Jammu Kashmir, and what a mother is called. So maybe in Jammu Kashmir people call Ammi, Himachal Pradesh it's a Ma or Mummy, then in Punjab it's a baby. The baby turned out to be sister in Haryana. So likewise, when you go to Maharashtra, it's something else, I, and then it becomes again Amma. So person is the same because of that different cultural context. You call it as the different name. So don't worry about that. There may be some other names also. Latent variable, observed variable, called by the people of statistics. Factor or statement, commerce, management, social science. Construct item, this is spoken by the people of psychology. You can add the term dimension also, or so many other things. At the end of the day, there is something which is a tangible, which you can measure. That's measure word. Body language, face expression is something we see, and this is, we conclude, not a right time to ask for something from the boss. That is what we call as the infer. Now, these are the two things we have settled down with this, that we have to live with this such sort of a very complex word. Let's go ahead with that. When we go and ask somebody, now comes a one fundamental question. A fundamental question is, what is your point of view, whether other person will tell truth or not? See, we so far forget about the formative, reflective, and everything else. You tell me, when you ask somebody whether the person will tell you truth or may not be telling the truth. These are the 2 points. So one point of view is, yes, why people will lie? People will tell me the truth. Okay, so in that case, you will ask one thing only once. For example, if this is a workshop, so I ask that whether the speaker is speaking, communication part is okay. You replied something, strongly agree, highly satisfied to highly. Then I asked for the contents are okay. Then I said, well, this online mechanism is okay. So I think I am asking every single thing only one time, and I have full confidence that you will tell me the truth. Why you will lie? Okay, but now comes the real point. People say, well, asking about something like a workshop is okay, but when you ask about very complex things like family members or your preference in the marketing or the human relations or the politics, people, some of the time they give a desired sort of result. This is what people expect. So I must tell that thing, not the truth. So what the second school of thought says, that there is no harm. You take the response and check once again whether the person is telling the truth or not. Are you getting it, what I'm saying? So again, your point of view, paper and everything else, we are doing our own research, okay, on the common sense basis. We'll talk about the professors and the literature and everything else, ABDC paper, we will talk it later. First, let's talk common sense. If you believe that some person is, will tell you the truth, then go for the formative. Ask one thing one time. But there is the contribution of Francis Likert, wonderful person. He said that, see, opinions are so subtle. Don't ask in one go. Ask in a number of ways. The same thing should be measured in number of ways. Now, what will happen then? So we will check whether the person is saying the same thing or not. Meaning of the same thing is whether the person is consistent or not. Now let's do one particular case. Sandeep has taken wonderful examples. Let me first go back to the examples of Sandeep. Hope this screen is visible. Reflective construct. Now I have so many people. Let's take Sandeep, our sample. So I asked Sandeep, what's your take on this? I eat healthy food, strongly agree to strongly disagree. And Sandeep says, strongly disagree. Okay, please listen it once again. I asked Sandeep, please rate this statement, I eat healthy food. And Sandeep says on a 5-point scale, from strongly agree to strongly disagree, or a vice versa, strongly disagree to strongly agree. Sandeep said strongly agree. Just stop it here, no further question, and tell me something about Sandeep. So what conclusions we can draw? Number one, Sandeep is not eating healthy food. So might be he's eating some sort of, he himself admits, I'm not eating healthy food. Okay, might be eating some sort of fast food, maybe some sort of junk foods he might be eating. Maybe he's, then looking for the health, maybe he's good now, but in the or the family is such that they also eat this sort of. Now see, wonderfully, Sandeep only told me just a tick. From one tick, these are the things or something. So now looking from this perspective that I know now about Sandeep, he says, I eat healthy food. He says strongly disagree. Okay. So when I ask second question, I don't eat much junk food. What he should tell me? Remember from the first statement what Sandeep said, I eat healthy food, strongly disagree. So I don't eat much junk food. Okay, I don't eat, but Sandeep will say, well, but I eat. Here also he will say strongly disagree. Because in the first one says, I eat healthy disagree. It means it might be he's good with the fast food, good with the, okay with the junk food, okay with the other sort of the food. So when I say I don't eat much junk food, so perhaps most likely he will say strongly disagree, because he say actually I eat junk food. And if the question would have been I eat junk food, then he should say strongly agree. Third, I have a balanced diet. I have a balanced diet. Maybe because it says I eat healthy food. Maybe he say I'm not eating healthy food. So maybe diet is balanced or not. But again, it's a debate. What is a balance? What is the balance? Is something like protein, carbohydrates, or is something like liquid and the solid, or something like Indian and the foreign food? I don't know what is balance. So this might be a confusion. Let's look for the second one. Do you understand something is happening in the reflective? In the reflective, the response we get only from the first statement. Only from the first statement, we got the answer. Then why you are asking other questions? We are asking other questions just to ascertain whether, number one, the person understands correctly or not, and then whether the person is consistent or not. Okay? So, see, when I was a student, I was always fascinated by this person, Cronbach. So I used to think, how come this person knows everybody on the planet and every single thing? So whenever person you take any questionnaire and somebody will say, no, ask Cronbach Alpha. Cronbach Alpha will tell that whether the things are okay or not. So I used to wonder how this is, just next to God, such a wonderful person. He knows everyone on the planet, whether the people are telling truth or not or something. So it's not like that. Cronbach alpha produces such a simple thing. It says, it just works on the common sense. It says that when you said, I eat junk food, should we strongly agree? As per common sense, this is what you are saying. So whatever you are saying, just be consistent to that. I'm not saying you reply that I eat healthy food. Yes, I'm not saying this. I'm saying whatever you are saying, whatever your position is, please maintain your position. I may ask anything, but you please maintain your position. So I'm just checking you with yourself, whether you are consistent or not. So look for one of the very common mistake, ability. Look at the book says my weight is 50 kg. I check the weight, it says machine says 55 kg. I checked again 55 kg, I checked again 55 kg. Machine is invalid but reliable. Now, such a, what should I say? When the machine is giving 55, first thing is, see, how many pitfalls are there in this example? When I know my weight, why I'm checking it? And then when I know machine, well, these are our examples. The problem with this question is, problem with this example is, it seems I'm collecting the data again and again, because I'm just going to the machine again, 55, third time 55, fourth time 55. I know actually is 50. So the point here is I am checking the data again and again. But look here, has any one of you went to the people once again that, hey, please fill the questionnaire. I have to check the reliability. Because look, compare it with the example of machine and the weight. You do again and again the same thing, isn't it? That is not the scenario. In case of this social science, we believe that, people give answer one time, that's more than enough. Nobody will give you answer again and again. That is experimental study. So in cross-sectional data, in descriptive study, what you do, in one go, you ask the same thing again and again, so that you will know whether the person is consistent or not. Just see about the hotel satisfaction. I appreciate this hotel. Sandeep says strongly agree. Okay, it means he really loved this hotel, and might be he's very happy with the features, with something else, but he appreciated the hotel. So what is your thing? If he is happy, so are there chances he will come back? Maybe most likely he should come back. And any chances he will tell to somebody else that there was a wonderful hotel? Most likely it has to, can be, not sure. So Sandeep said, I appreciate this hotel, strongly agree. Now, when, the beautiful thing is, we know what Sandeep should say. The should is important, underline the should. Looking at the first response, we know what will be the probable response of the person. I am looking forward to staying in the hotel, strongly disagree. Now, why so? I appreciate this hotel, very strongly agree. I look forward to stay in the hotel, strongly disagree. How is it possible? So might be now I will wonder, then this hotel he is okay, but his first preference is not there. Might be this is the case. Okay, I recommend this to hotel to other, strongly disagree. Well, he is the happy with the hotel, but why he will not recommend to hotel again? Okay, now see, 1%, 2%, 5%, if they do it, it's okay. That's why we take a large sample, 400, 500. 1-2% can behave, can answer like this. But if majority of them are doing this way, then might be something is wrong with your questionnaire. If majority are doing this way, 5-10 are doing, no problem. That always happens. People always, take fun in confusing other people. But when majority of the people are doing it, then certainly there may be some sort of mistake, something is going wrong. Now, let me come back to my example here. Hope you are with me. So, Sandeep or Suman, you can unmute in between and tell me if the screen is not visible. So,
Sure, sure.
Yeah. I hope it's everything is okay. So, some of the people have raised their hands, or I know I have totally asked no queries. We will take the query in the evening session. Don't worry about it. Every single query will be handled. But first, let me complete the concepts. I have asked the question, I like introducing new brands and products to my friend. Okay. And now you tell about me. So this question was asked to me. I like introducing new brands and products to my friends. I said strongly disagree. I never do that. So what is your idea about me? If I give answer this way, it got certain meanings. Like number one, might be I never check the new brands or new products. This can be one. Or I use new brands, but I don't like telling the people about it. This might be all be the truth. But not to my friends, to strangers. This might be the case. Okay, anything can be there. Second question comes, I like helping people by providing them with the information. Now, if I like introducing brands and products to my friends, then generally we will assume this person should say, I like helping people by providing information, should say strongly agree. Or not strongly agree, let's say agree. Not agree, let's say neutral. I don't understand. But how can somebody say, I like introducing to, at the first place, it comes out as strongly agree, and the second says strongly disagree. Now we need to, stop and we need to think about it in detail. Might be a person is telling me the truth. There is something else. Backside. People ask me for information. People are asking, agree. Think of me as a good source of information when it comes to product or the sales. Most likely, person should say strongly agree. Now here it means the moment we know about the first one, we know about the other things. What he or she will most likely speak up. For a moment, let's call it here. My friends do not think of me as a good source of information. Now, if the person say, I like introducing brands to others, for the fourth one, my friends do not think, the person must say strongly disagree, isn't it? So it means as a researcher, I am free. I can ask the question in whatever way, but the respondent, I expect the respondent to be consistent. If the respondent is not consistent, giving any answer here and there, then, not a good respondent. But if majority of them are doing it, then certainly there is some fault with the questionnaire. Some fault with the questionnaire. So what are the things we must look for? Like, let's make certain rules for us. One rule for me, one for the respondent. For the respondent, I assume the respondent must be consistent. Now see, here all the things are connected. Actually, the point is entire social sciences here and here. You remember that Munna Bhai, chemical locha? Everything is there inside a chemical. All things, our satisfaction, feeling, loyalty, happiness, politics, everything is inside. There is no real thing. So everything is inside. And that's within a, tipped into a chemical and something. The problem here comes, the person was very, very angry. Person was just, got fired from the job. And I reached there. I like introducing new brands. Person said, go away. I said, no, please. It's very important. I'm doing PhD. Please answer me this question. I like introducing you. Now the person is giving all, very strange results. So what is happening along with the contamination come in, the bad mood, because of the bad mood, the response has changed. Have you seen that? So if you just, send a student out of the class, that you are late, get out of the class. And just in the next lecture, my feedback is taken by director. You can just guess what that student is going to rate me. So it means our opinions, feelings, they are also affected by something else. Please remember, this something else after some time will be called as common method biasness. This is going parallelly. So you are here in the room, is a common method is just standing outside the room, just next to the door. And he is also affecting, that is also affecting common method biasness. So what people, and it's a very, some sort of so common sense things. So experts said that, okay, don't ask entire questionnaire in one go. So ask a dependent variable at next week and ask that from that different way. No harm in asking the same question again in the next week also, if it is possible, if the person allows. So it means transient mood, etc. Space is also there where you are asking the question. You have to make every caution, you have to take care that there is only response will come, nothing else will come. And to tell you the truth, always everything else will come. And that we have to look for. Common method biasness, endogeneity, and so many things will come. But hope you get the idea of reflective. Reflective, it's not that I don't trust my people, my respondent. I just want to ensure that they are telling me the truth. So I'm asking the same thing. Now with the same thing, please don't understand this is copy paste, 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 paste. My professor asks me, ask the same thing again and again. Okay? No, 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 I'm not saying that. Change the wording. Sometime positive. Now, see, Professor Gaskin mentioned such a wonderful thing, and I really appreciate him. He says that while asking these questions, I put one statement in between. Maybe the third statement says, if you are reading this statement, make a triangle in front of this. Now he says, whenever I get this to the people, when I take back, the first thing I look whether there is a triangle or not. If there is no triangle and people reply don't strongly agree, then just throw that questionnaire. That's no good. Please don't go for the data entry. The person was not reading it. Size of the triangle doesn't matter. Small triangle or the bigger triangle, etc. But triangle means the person was actually reading it. So it was not just like taking and give you back. No, it's not like that. So one way is you check again and again because it's opinion we are measuring. See, if it's the weight, if I wish to check your weight and there are the 100 participants, I won't look to the participant. I will look to my weighing machine. My machine should be okay. Okay. But if I'm looking for the opinion, I need to talk to the person. So one word we attached with the person, let's call it as reliability. Reliability means when asked again and again, you are reliable. Now, I know a number of people will say, what about if somebody is reliably wrong, means wrong data given, but reliably? Well, we will accept it. We will accept it. So far, there is no way to enter into your brain and get the things out. So far, we are not. Maybe in future it will come. Maybe I remember the movie PK. In the movie PK, they say, why do you talk? You just hold hand and the entire data communication happens. Well, that's a fantastic thing. But till we don't get that technology, we have to go with this reflective scale and other things. Okay. So yes, if a person consistently gives wrong information, I will believe. I have no other way. But yes, I will say when going for the last data for 400, 500, maybe I got some sensible people also and they will give me correct information. Coming to this one, the first thing I already told about myself, I like introducing new brands and products to my friends. I said strongly disagree. Okay, strongly disagree. Now, second things, I always check the price of the product. What will be my behavior? I never purchase the new brands or new product, or at least I don't introduce to my friends. This is my characteristics I told you about it. But what about the price? Can you make a guess about the price of the vendor? By it can be anything. I may say strongly agree, I may say strongly disagree. I critically evaluate the promotion. How it is concerned with the introducing new brands to the friends or checking the price. This is totally different dimension. This is a different dimension. I prefer offline mode of payment as it is more secure. This is totally different dimension. When you are taking totally different dimensions, it is called formative. When you are measuring same thing again, reflective. And this one is called formative. Please look for the two things, reflective and the formative. Basically, where it lies, who will decide it? You will decide it. Nobody else, none of the professor or researcher will tell anything. You first decide what's the way you know your population best. Maybe you are a part of that population. You know about those things. You are interested in doing the study among those people. You tell what sort of people you have. If people are damn straightforward and tell you the correct thing, go with the formative and take things. And if you need, the topic is such, it cannot be asked directly. Like, if I'll ask for how's your marriage going on? No, it's not in black and white. And nobody can say 67% good. There is no such thing. Nobody will say it's a pathetic or bad, then they should go for divorce. And nobody will say we are the perfect. That is also not the case. So how to reply this? We need to ask certain questions from it. Again, comes here, how is your marriage or how is your teacher? Let me talk about this. How is your teacher or this workshop? Here, it might be possible if, let's help a campus technology. Campus technology is conducting this sort of workshops on an often basis. So Suman might be interested. What we should look in our workshop? So let's help Suman in deciding what should be there. So hope Suman is listening. So Suman, people say that, the first thing comes in the workshop is if it's a offline workshop. It's a residential workshop. Okay, let's make it a residential workshop where you need to come and you need to stay there. So first people will say that, okay, the first thing is the contents. What are the contents? They should be good, very practical and the latest one, contemporary. The second thing, contents are good, but who's making a delivery? Resource person. That's again the second thing. Third thing, stay arrangements must be okay. It should not be a very agencies. So stay arrangement should be okay. Having the three things means it should be secure, it should be safe, and also. Then food should be good because you are staying there for the some days. Food should be good, and then might be the infrastructure. All of the things are there, but there is no electricity. Well, that may not serve the purpose. Electricity, laptops, labs, etc. That should be there. Now, please look for. I have told the 5 things: contents, resource person. The third thing is the accommodation, food, and fifth one is the infrastructure where you spend your day. Now, what is your point of view? Just think of yourself. If the contents are excellent, I have taken, artificial intelligence in research. It means rest all are good. If if we are conducting a research on artificial intelligence or machine learning in research, it means the food will be good or no, won't be good. Okay. If this is good, the resource person will be good. Now, itself, you can say the resource person has good, wonderful knowledge, but knowledge is one thing, communication is other thing. So knowledge is good, communication is good, but the person don't, listen. Person don't listen. Like me, people are raising hand and said, "Oh, I don't see." So it can be person don't listen. It might be the person is not patient. People are trying to explain and they say, "Shut up, just listen to me." So one in itself, it is resource person itself, it might be knowledge, communication, empathy, patience. These are the within itself. It might be a person is good at other and lacking the other things. It might be this scenario. Are you getting it? What I'm telling? What sort of constructs you see? Are they like if you say a person is good in communication, it means person know what he's talking about. Person is very patient, very empathetic. It means it's a reflective skill. If you agree that no, all things are different, then it's a formative. These all are the formative. So a very, very thumb rule is you measure one particular thing in one way, it's formative. More than one way, it's reflective. You understand that? So coming little ahead, if you understand reflective and the formative, now the thing comes, then what is this composite? Sandeep talked about, actually Hensler talked about. What Hensler talked about? Hensler said, see, it's a simple, very, very simple idea. Formative, you say, there are the 4 things, 5 things like for the workshop. What was our checklist for Suman? It's about contents, then the resource person, then it was the accommodation, food, and the infrastructure. Now, given the 5 things, is it all for the workshop or something else is left out? There is always something else left out. There is always and always something left out. Something else might be, it must be hands-on must be there. Because in the first 4, it's just like a was there any hands-on? Okay, hands-on again noted, hands-on should be there. Then data files must be given. Okay, data files must be given. Then timing, because where we talked about in the first 5, timing of the workshop. Timing must be there, timing. So see, always we are adding something. So if we just come original 5, what are the original 5? Contents, resource person, stay arrangement, food, and infrastructure. If you block the 5, what about the timing? What about the security? What about the hands-on? I left out something now. That is called as the residual. Left out part is always called as the residual. So problem with this is in social science, you can never ever tell that this is okay, this is finite. For example, if I'll ask you, intelligence of your baby depends on what? So you may start telling me factor number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You may tell 10, but you can never be sure of these are the only 10. There is 11th. Maybe I'm not recalling at the moment. Maybe I don't know. My grandfather know about this 11th or the 12th, but there is always something else. This is whatever human beings are. Human beings, we can never ever say, most of the time it happens that this happens once in the 400 years, but that may also affect you. If you happen to be there when that event was happening in 400 years, right? The point here is one perspective is there is always left out. So we are talking on some major things. There are minor issues we understand, then we leave it. But these are the major things. Now Hensler says, no, this is one way of thinking. Other way of thinking is there are the 4 items and only 4 items. That's it. There is no 5th item. That's what is called as in the design. So in the design, when you are looking for a product, you say, well, this should be there, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's it. There is no fifth thing. There is nothing called residual. Then you enter into the zone of composite. Composite means now there is no value addition. So one thing particularly look for Hensler, Professor Hensler is working on University of Twente perhaps, and he's working in the design department. So from design aspect, that's very much perfect. The designing part, there are the finite set. That's where I told you about the NIRF. See how challenging it is. How to evaluate the institution? How can you evaluate an institution? So much is happening in the institution. So NIRF said that, you know what we will do? We will measure only those things which can be quantified, not qualitative, which can be quantified. Now it's going to be very funny. For example, how many lectures I took, that is countable. That's very much countable. But how I teach, that is intangible. So how I teach doesn't make any marks, but how many classes I have taken, how many students are there, how many passed, these are something which are the numbers. So you need to convert everything into the numbers. Okay, so you convert into the numbers. The things that are converted into the numbers have the marks, other things doesn't have any marks. So NIRF said, well, we have the 5 sort of things what the institute is supposed to do. So it's a maybe for 5 minutes, it's a sort of NIRF tutorial starts now. Maybe helpful to some of you. So first one is TLR, teaching learning resource. How many faculty members are there? How many of them are PhD? Please see, whatever thing I will speak up will end up with a number. I'm not speaking about any qualitative, it's all quantitative. How many faculty, how many student-faculty ratio, faculty members with the PhD, faculty member with more than 15 years experience, number of women faculty, okay, all of these. Then it comes to how many publications are there for the faculty, how many citation for in the top 25% highest cited, how many numbers are there in that, how many research projects are there, money involved with that, consultancy projects, etc., number of patents. See, every single thing is there. Then it comes to student. How many student actually, you know, you got enrollment. For example, I say I got an enrollment of 600. How many seats are full in this year? 590. Okay. Out of 590, how many came to the final year without any backlog? 570. Out of the 570, how many actually got placement? 500. What about the left out? How many went to the higher education or something else? Tell me about that. What was their, when they passed out, what was the passing marks, average of the marks, how much placement figures, salary, etc. Can you see every single thing is quantified and there is a proportion given. So TLR, teaching learning resource, 30%. The second one, 30%, graduation outcome, 15%, outreach inclusivity, 15%, perception, 10%. Everything is structured and they say nothing can be changed. That's it. It's more of a composite. More of a composite. Only 5 things are there and their weight is decided. Think in terms of weighted mean. 5 elements, this much weight, this much weight, this much weight, add up, it becomes total. Nothing. But if somebody says, no, we must have the international exposure, etc., it won't be NIRF ranking, then it will be some other ranking. Design will change. Which Sandeep was saying, design will change in that case. It will be something else. So you decide or from your side and you tell, well, this is the rank, this is the way. So these are the finite items having a particular weight. And then you just get the total. This will be called a composite. Hope composite is little bit more clear to you now. It happens more of the when there is a finite set, there is no residual left out. As Sandeep pointed out, the moment you say there is one more, that when you are going for purchasing a 3-bedroom flat, if you are saying that can we have one more bedroom? Remember, it won't be 3-bedroom flat, then it will be called 4-bedroom flat, and there will be a different cost and the price for that. Okay, so design will change. But first, we will discuss primarily about the this reflective and the formative. Now, if you understood that if I go for the reflective one, what is going to happen? Same thing asked with the same person again and again, and if the person is giving correct, so there will be high R between the all the responses. Listen it carefully. If the same thing is asked again and again, for example, let's talk about the workshop once again. I take only 3 examples: resource person, the second is the contents, third is the food. 3 things I have taken. It means I will ask you certain questions about this workshop. So I asked about the resource person 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you are very happy with that. So what will happen? The person will say, I am good. I like the resource person, or a totally, stupid resource person you have called. This is one. Food. Either food will be good or food will not be good. Likewise, contents will be good or not good. Stay will be good or not good, right? Something like that. So I will ask again and again. Now look for the relation between the 4. Relation between the 4. What is your point of view? If the resource person is good, then food is also good. Or if the food has more spices, it means the resource person was stupid. Is this some way we are going to expect, or these are totally different issues? So resource person, it's okay. We'll talk about the communication, knowledge, empathy, that we'll talk about. But first, as a person, as a whole, I tell you where things go wrong. People don't talk much about it. Why things go wrong. When a resource person bad means a food is bad. So it happened with me, and actually participant taught it this method to me. I was taking 2 years back. I was taking a workshop in the month of June, and my host have put me. It was in Delhi, and the host put me on the top floor. Okay, in the month of June, when you are on the top floor, you can expect it's going to be a very hot day, and 50 people are sitting, and the hall is full. Okay, then they have the AC room also, good. But with the problem with the ACs, it's totally packed. There is nothing like a windows are open or something. There is a AC. And unfortunately, the AC was not working. So you can think of a horrible scenario we were in. One, the geographical conditions were very horrible. And then in such horrible circumstances, I was trying to teach them statistics. So it becomes a hell. So on the top floor, on the 48-degree, with the 50 people in a room, all packed, all windows, doors locked, and AC not working. So it was telling about reflective and the formative, and we came out for tea break. I was asking my organizers that you please change room or do something. This is very horrible. One participant said, sir, I'm wonderful. I'm so happy. I learned all these things and the concepts are very clear, and I'm so happy. Now if from this person you ask, but see, you are happy with the contents or maybe the resource person, but AC is not working, that's a fact. But the person said, we are not here for the resource person or the cup of tea. We are here for the knowledge. I'm so happy. Now, if you ask this person, remember what is it? It's an emotional reply. So one thing we always forget, we get total correct answer when there is a rational reply. But there is another thing you need to deal with the human beings. That's an emotional reply. So one person that's so happy that there was if hypothetically there is a shortage of food, person say food was very good. AC, that was very good. Everything was good because one thing was good and he was so happy about it. He said everything is good. Think of the other scenario. One person, got late because of some metro problem, because of the taxi problem, etc. She reached 5 minutes late. I said, get out from the class. And then she was very furious. She said, I started at the 5 a.m. and it took me 6 hours and you simply said, get out. I said, no, nothing, get out. Now, if she is offered the food, she is offered the other thing, and at the evening, if she will be asked that please fill in this questionnaire, she must say food was good, AC was good. Now AC didn't created any problem to that girl, but she said since the resource person was bad, everything is bad in this workshop. Can you see, this is an emotional response? This is what we are doing. Look for, all of us love our family members. There is no doubt about it. But this doesn't mean we agree to every single thing they speak. Absolutely not. There are so much differences. Can you see the complexity? You love your parents? Yes. Do you agree with to all whatever say? Absolutely not. Most of the time not. But you still love? Yes, we still love. How will you explain this? So complicated. So if it's rational, then it means that I love my mother, but she did a wrong thing here. So any questions from Lalita? Can you put a mute, Lalita Yadav? Suman, please take care of Lalita. So, where was I? I forget. So, it might be that, rational one is you say only the correct thing. that this is right, you are my parents, I love you, but this is where you are wrong, or this is the way it should be. But most of the time, what happens, we are not like this. There are so many layers are there. So there is, so that's why the correct response goes like below this. That's why we ask such a simple things. Now what we ask, I ask you, let me ask you 3 questions each for the 5 things. Let me tell you what are the 5 things for the workshop. One is contents. Okay, content should be good. Resource person should be good. It's a residential workshop. Your arrangements, stay arrangement should be good, safe, secure, cozy, everything as per the geographical conditions. Fourth, food should be good as per your preference. In India, we have so many fooding habits, so it should be catering to all. And the fifth one should be that it must be infrastructure should be good. Labs are there, PC are there, AC is there, and everything is up to the mark. What we are not taking, we are not taking the timing of the workshop, we are not taking the hands-on, other things we have left out. 5 I have taken. If I'll ask 4 questions each of them, my understanding is if the resource person sequence on the food. Food is a totally different thing. It's possible that food is terrible and resource person is good, or food is excellent but the resource person is very pathetic. It might be the case. If your reply is coming, I expect you to give me different answers. And purposefully, I will ask Suman, today put more spices. Today create a shortage of this, so that we know that today we have done something. You must tell us that there was a shortage of the food and there was a spices were very high content. If we do like this, I expect I have done the things. I expect you must tell me that there was a shortage. But if you continue saying this was excellent, 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 all 5, what it means? It means might be they are not existing separately for you. It means the same emotional response. Either you are so pissed off, you say everything is bad here, so high spices, and even this resource person is bad, and whatever the contents, nonsense contents. If you are saying like this, it's more likely an emotional response. Bad, continuously bad. Good, continuously good. Otherwise, it should not be like this. Otherwise, it has to be this is good, this is bad, this is this, this is this. Telling these are the separate things is called discriminant validity. What is discriminant validity? Ability to discriminate between what? Between this is the first, this is the second. A resource person is good, but the food is bad. This is telling me this thing is called discriminant validity, ability to discriminate between the things. What is convergent validity? Convergent validity means when you ask the same thing again and again, you get the similar response. Not only this is one part, there are other parts also, but likely this is the part. When you ask, you check again and again the similar responses. Remember the converge? Have you heard of this word converge? It is from physics. All things, you put a concave lens or the convex lens and the rays converge to a focal point. Converge, coming to same point. When you are asking the same thing from a different of ways, the same response is coming out, converging. Convergent validity. Discriminant means when I ask something else, there is a separate one. Okay. So does this convergent validity make sense in the formative one? No, because in the formative, there is only one statement. There is only one statement for one particular thing. So where is the convergent validity? Not required. Is there any discriminant validity? But obvious, 100% they are discriminant. That's why you are asking the 5 things. They are supposed to be discriminant. They are supposed to be separate things. But in the convergent validity, that makes sense only in the reflective scale. So when it comes to a reflective scale, because you are not measuring something like height or distance, you are measuring something thoughts. It's a very, very sensitive thing. So first you go ahead with your results. I would like to say, well, see, there are the 2 important assumptions or 2 important caveats. What are the caveats? One for the researcher and one for the respondent. What is for the respondent? Respondent, we only expect consistency. Whatever you say, please be consistent on that. This is the first one. The second thing, from the what is our expectations from the researcher? From the researcher, we will say, see, number 1, you must do the content coverage complete. Content coverage must be complete. For that particular thing, whatever you are asking for example, if you are asking for somebody's married life, don't ask only about the husband. please ask something about the in-laws also, about the other friends also, about the, both side in-laws, ask about them also. So asking husband and wife, it may be one thing, but you should, content coverage must be adequate. Okay, this is the content validity. So what is the second one? Construct validity. Got two parts. What is the construct validity? First part will say that convergent. When I ask again and again, the same thing was coming. And maybe, I asked this on the first Wednesday, and then in the next week, it was the same, almost same. If you can do that, then it's great. The second is the discriminant validity, ability to discriminate. Okay. Then in the recent years, two more validities have emerged out. In the recent, now there are the four. What are the four? Content validity. If you wish to, you may note it down. Content validity. Second is the construct validity. Third is the nomological validity, and is the criteria validity. So first two I told you, content validity. There is nothing like any formula, etc. Content coverage should be, so you refer, I have referred all the papers, I studied all these papers, etc. Then there are some experts, you talk to the expert, they told you, yes, these are the studies you should consider, your guide, all these things. Construct validity, two parts. I hope you understand the meaning. Construct validity should be reported only when there is a reflective. Makes sense more in the reflective. Okay. Though we'll speak about the convergent validity informative also, Sandeep coined a term redundancy analysis. We'll come to that also. So, but primarily let's talk about the reflective. In the reflective, convergent and discriminant. When I asked the second one, people understood. Now he's asking food, and now he's asking about infrastructure. Okay, these are the different issue. I expect you should give different answers. It might be that everything is good. Suman is such a wonderful host. Everything is good. That's okay. But if I'll ask purposefully to make certain errors on that particular day, you must have reported that there was some problem here. So I will ascertain, yeah, people are actually checking everything. They are not simply nodding. They report all things. The third thing comes to nomological validity. Now, this is very interesting. So in the nomological validity, for long back, people call it as the common sense. But now in the recent one paper, Professor Hare has explained it in much detail. And I was really very happy to see what exactly this thing is. So I can see one participant, Lalita Yadav, she refuses to go on mute. So let me take her example. I asked Lalita that, Lalita, see, this is one diamond ring. You take it and go to that hotel and give to Mr. X. And give only to Mr. X, nobody else. Now the problem is Lalita has never seen Mr. X. So she's worried. It's a diamond ring. It's a very, very costly. How will I ascertain? So I tell that, see, Mr. X looks like this. He's the 6 foot. He's tall built. He's this. Then she said, well, I'm not very sure about it. I could recognize. Then I said, okay, see, whenever Mr. X will be with the servants, what will happen? The servants will be touching the food. Okay. Whenever Mr. X will be with the elders, Mr. X will be touching their feet. Okay. Whenever Mr. X with the friends, they never shake hand. They always say like this, And this is their way of greeting. Okay. Now Lalita goes to this hotel and she is there. She sees a person. She suspects it can be Mr. X, and she observes her behavior. That, okay, how she's doing here. Okay, this is also tick with the servant, with the elders. He's touching the feet with the friends, and then he say, is Mr. X, and give the ring to her. How to correlate it with the research? In the research, Professor Hare says that look at the other variables other than your dependent independent. For example, stress causes have an effect on performance. Now, don't look at the two. Look at the other things. If performance is there, motivation will be high. If motivation is less, stress will be low. Leader will have effect. Measure other variables and measure their effect with them and see whether the effect is correct. Because politics will increase the stress. If this I measured politics, stress is with me. I checked, I say, yes, stress is good. This is what I expect from, what the previous literature says, leader can create stress. And I checked the leader was creating a stress. Yes, this is correct. So I am checking stress, not with the stress, but its role with other variables. So I must measure other variables and check if I find that is at par or as expected, the relation as is given by the other, this is called nomologically validity. Now you will say, well, who does? It means for the two variable, will I measure 5 or 10? Actually, it's good if you can measure that 5 or 6, etc. You can write different papers for that. But nomological validity means I checked this variable and its predisposed behavior with the other variables, not with the DV. That will come later. IDV with its all other things, it was found to be almost the same. DV was found to be the same. When they are same, it means IDV and DV are okay. Now let's see their relationship. Okay, that is nomological validity relationship. That's people called as common sense based. Predictive. Predictive means now one particular team, Professor Hare, Professor Ringel, they are advocating a lot about the predictive. This is, see, you take a variable, you measured it, you apply correlation regression and say be happy. But can we really predict about the future what is going to happen? We are looking from the research that if the performance go up, then this will happen. So can it really tell that thing? So there now SmartPL has started with it, and in R also we have it. There is something called the predictive criteria. So now how to check the predictive criteria? How do you know with the predictive criteria? So how we'll say there are the two methods. One, we will go with the ordinary least square method. Second, we will go with the MLE method, and we'll look for the residual part. So we are not predicting actually with the prediction is in the future. So what we will do, we will say, let's compare the two different methods and see which method is telling me where the residuals are coming less. Criteria is there. So let me just sum up. Let me stop share. And let me see where others are still here. So the point here is what I'm saying. Number one, I'm just summing up the things, and then maybe in 5 minutes I will take the questions in the chat. The first thing I told you, science and the social science. Social science, opinion, thoughts, feelings, etc. So it cannot be directly like that of physical units. So we have to look for two schools of thought are there. What are the two schools of thought? The first school of thought is that people will not lie. The second is there is no harm in checking whether they are lying or not. The first one, it says formative. Ask one thing only once. That's it. Ask quickly. It's a sort of more of a checklist or that sort of questionnaire. The second one comes, that ask the same thing again and again. When you say again and again, the first thing, their term will come like construct, latent variable, like motivation. So I will not ask how much motivated you are. I will ask 3, 4, 5 things. So it means the 2 points comes directly with the reflective. The moment you speak reflective, 2 things pop up. What are the 2 things? First one is unidimensionality. Unidimension. In one time, you will ask about one thing. That's okay. You can shuffle within the construct or in the overall scale. That's perfectly okay. But it means for one particular construct, you know there are 3 statements, 4 or 5, how many statements, you know about that. The second thing comes unidirectionality. The meaning of the unidirectionality is before starting the analysis, all things must be made on the same direction. If I'll ask the statement like, my friends do not think me as a good source of resource, I said strongly disagree. What it means? My friends do not think me as a good source of resource, I said strongly disagree. It means my friends do think me. Other statements are positive, one is negative, I cannot add them. I cannot make the sum. Remember, Likert scale was summated rating scale. I cannot sum that. For that, first go the score reversal. Like if it's a 5-point scale, then 6 minus 1. If it's 7-point scale, then 8 minus 1. If it's 4-point scale, then 5 minus 1. Reverse and then unidimensionality, unidirectionality. Unidirectionality, good to ask some positive, some negative and shuffled way. But before starting, all the statements of one construct should be at one place in one direction. Unidimensionality. One dimension will be asked in a number of ways. That is called as the reflective construct. The other is formative construct. Third one is the composite. Composite means you tell these are the finite things. Sandeep told you the people of marketing can go ahead with that because Hensler said, see, in the marketing domain, we have identified 4 things and there are only 4. That's it. We don't. We say, no, something is always left out. Something is always missed out. So that's why we work with the formative. So these are the 3 constructs. Please remember, in the reflective, there will be high correlation. If I'll ask so many 5, 6 things construct, so ability to distinguish between all 5 is called the discriminant validity. Maintaining about same position on the one is called convergent validity. So 4 sort of validity I spoke about. What are the 4? First is the content validity. Content coverage should be okay. The second is construct validity. Further two. What are the two? Convergent and discriminant. Maintain your same position and ability to understand these are the different things. Construct validity. Third is nomological. Nomological means don't see their behavior with the others as expected it is behaving. It means that is okay. The fourth one calls predictive. The prediction is good or not. For whom these four things are there? For the researcher and for the respondent, please maintain your consistency. Read this. After reading, give the true. These are our expectations. From the researcher, we have the two expectation. Construct is good. Convergent, all sort of validities are good. And the second thing is adequate sample should be there. So it should not be like, somebody was telling me 2 days back that I got a large sample. It's a pan-India study and sample is of 400, let's call it as 4,000. 4,000 pan-India. So I simply asked how much is the population of the India? 135 crore. 135 crore, but 4,000 people are thinking. Is it an appropriate sample, do you think? We can generalize the result of the 4,000 for the entire India? No. So either don't call it for the pan-India or, restrict. So this is it from my side. We got 5 minutes. So you can ask anything in chat, not by this. Yeah, I have stopped recording. Now you can ask anything in the chat. Is there anything in the chat? So many people were raising the hands in between. Chat is disabled. So, Suman, can you please enable the chat? Okay, seems they are busy. So, I must appreciate the efforts of campus technology because we are talking something which interests to us and they are providing free services. Whole of the day they are listening to us. They are not from this background directly, but they are whole of the day listening to us. Really hats off to you, Suman, and the entire team. That's a wonderful efforts.
So we're there. I think I should just on mute. Yes, we're here.
Okay, you are here. So can you please enable the chat so that people can ask? We got 4 minutes now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Please request to all the participants, please use it only and only for the question. Please don't say hi, good afternoon, or such things. I expect when you are writing the chat, you are writing only and only the questions, nothing else.
It's enabled, sir. It's enabled.
It will be really helpful.
Yeah, chat is enabled. Yeah.
If there are any questions, okay. Thank you, Sam. Criteria validity, let me repeat, 4 sort of validities are there. The first one is content validity, construct validity, nomological validity. Explain the nomologically validity. Nomological validity, it simply says, don't look at the dependent and independent, look for the whether independent is behaving with other variables as expected, dependent is behaving with the other variables as expected. If they are doing, it means everything is good. And then check their relation. So we are all the things are checking their relation, nomologically checking relation for the others. Correlation between the construct. Correlation between the construct means this is the essence. Correlation between the construct is the essence. What it means, whether satisfaction, if you are satisfied, will you be loyal to the other? So both are the construct. Satisfaction, there is no tangible thing. This is your satisfaction. Loyalty is again intangible. Can you see at the end of your day, satisfaction is just a thought and loyalty is just a thought. That's why one single incidence and from the loyal you turn to the simply thoughts. So we will look their relation, whether they are related or not. Any example of a common method biasness with other example? I have made a complete playlist on the common method biasness, and maybe in the future I will take a complete workshop on the common method biasness. Now this concept completes 50 years. Essence is the soul of this method. It says when you ask something, it should be only and only that particular variable, nothing else. Take the example. you are in the gym and are doing some sort of push-ups, right? Or the weights is there. Now I ask you, weight is 20 kg. I ask you that you please stand on this weighing scale. You stand on the weighing scale and the weight comes 90 kg. So should I conclude that your weight is actually 70 kg because 20 kg are the weights that you are carrying? Do you get this? So similar is the case here because 20 kg is the weight. 20 kg. The point here is when I ask, are you happy? Now, are you happy? Whatever your answer is there, that is also there, but so many other things are also there. It means if you are very, very sad, you in general, you are very happy in life, but at that moment, the result will be slightly changed. So I want to ensure that that transition or that moment on that particular day or that particular hour should not affect your answer. It should be the real. Now it's next to impossible. It's next to impossible. See, in every single day, you see, you are, if you are sad, it's not like something gone wrong in the home or something gone wrong in the office or in the country or in the IPL or something. We are a sum total of all. So taking only that particular essence out, next to impossible. I tell you, it's next to impossible. So just on the lighter side, when we say your weight, when you say my weight is 62 kg, by the way, that is actually your weight plus weight of the clothes plus weight of your shoes and weight of everything, some of the thing. That is negligible, then we say, okay, no problem with that. But technically, that's not your weight alone. There are the other things also you are carrying. Your comments on, oh my God, the comments are coming so fast, I'm not able to read it. How to interpret the results of nomological validity in CFA? CFA has nothing to do with the nomological validity. Please look, maybe I put a bomb today on nomological validity. Please read the paper of the here, where he talked about how to refer the CCA results. I have given it to you. There he talked about it. I refer once again. There is nothing like you will report AVE or MSV or this or that. Nothing. You simply report, at least you can say, 1-2 more variables, which are generally associated with the independent and the dependent. It has to be negative relation and negative was found, it's good. So only R need to be reported, nothing like AVE, MSV, CR or nothing like that. It's more of a common sense. How to control and check for the social desirability? Well, see, I'm not taking any questions of common method biasness because we will deviate. Common method biasness, I repeat, I have made a complete playlist of video. All the questions are answered. Whatever you are answering, it's a sort of a, I will call it as laziness. You don't want to see the playlist, you want to simply ask, but it is not the right platform. I'm not answering any question of common method biasness. I will take a separate workshop and then I will explain that. Any statistical tool for nomological validity? Simple R, nothing else. Any paper for nomological and predictive validity? Check any paper of Professor Ringel. Professor Ringel almost always talks about the predictive validity. In a number of papers he talked about. Only available in the Smart PLS, and now whatever you can do in Smart PLS and others, you can do in RStudio also. So papers are available. You have to read the papers of Professor Ringel. Nomological validity, till date, I have just read what this concept is. I haven't seen it in any of the paper. Possible use of CCA in behavioral, not my comment. I won't comment. It's basically your point of view. Your point of view is if you can write it, if you can explain and emphasize that these are the things and only these are the things. There is nothing else. Certainty and finite. These are the two important ingredients for CCA. When you say these are certain, these are finite, you have to tell, you have to convince. My observation, my comments are immaterial. I just told you the concept. You have to write the paper the way you write. Partially supported hypothesis, nothing to do this with this workshop. This will talk in terms. Can we combine measurable and difference between reliability and validity? Sunita, perhaps you are doing something else when I was speaking for 1 hour, so no comments on that. As discussed in PCA, eigenvalue more than one. Okay, I will come to eigenvalue and those concepts. I will explain in the next session in detail. With the help of Amos, can we calculate nomological validity? No, dear. Nothing is required. Only R is required. Only R. Nothing else is required for nomological validity. There is nothing else. Cross-loading difference, how much is okay? I will explain the cross-loading concept in much detail. Reliability, how reliability is calculated in backend. I don't know what is meant by the backend. If you are looking for the calculation, of the playlist is Likert scale. There I have explained what is the formula, and without using SPSS in Excel I have calculated. So it's basically all possible pair of R need to be computed, and then there is a formula of alpha. Using that formula you can calculate it manually also, if that is what meant. Which statistical data is best for CFA, SAM, Amos or Studio? Which statistical data is best? I don't understand what is this question. Which statistical data? Any sort of a data you can use. See, all of these softwares are simply calculators. You must know what you need to do. I think for almost 1 hour, I speak about the reflective formative composite. If you understand by that, you will use appropriate software. It's not like basic is scale data, you can say. Scale data. But it's not that simple. Smart PLS can handle the single statement also, binaries also. R means correlation. Small r means Karl Pearson correlation. Yes, correct. Please explain triangle. Which triangle? Okay, maybe Professor Gaskin's method. Okay. Suman, there's a question.
Yes, sir.
Suman?
Yes, sir.
Actually, people have written so much in the chat. I'm not able to read because every single question requires so much of the time. So is it possible for you to take the chat out and send it to me so that I will reply in the evening session, the people's point?
Yes, sir.
Is it possible to copy and send me the chat? Because there is so much I am not able to read the entire chat, and every one question requires maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and questions are chatting. So if it's possible, we can stop here for the lunch break. And in the evening, in the last session, our next session is, now it's a 1:36. Next session will start with 2:30 to 4. 4 to 5:30, I will explain a little bit more nuances of the PC math, cross-loading, all other things, maybe using SPSS and Excel. And then in the evening session, which will have only for the question answer, there I will answer all of these questions. Because some of the questions are from so diverse thing, it's not connected with it. I will explain triangle also there. So we can stop here and we'll meet at 2:30 now. Thank you, everyone.